Good afternoon and welcome to Northern Maine Productions. Let's look at this vintage 1970s. I believe this is a Renown tree topper. This is one of those, it's a three-way flashing wreath topper. I just want to go over a few things with these. I've seen a lot of pictures of these tree toppers with melted bulb holders, these little plastic reflectors. These tree toppers use, especially in the older ones like this, these tree toppers use a different bulb than what modern tree toppers use. These have a 12-volt bulb in them. There's 33 lights on this, so it's 11 bulbs per section. I believe they put a higher wattage bulb in these just to make them so that they were extra bright. The problem is with that extra brightness comes extra heat, and these things will get hot if they do not flash. That's why every tree topper you ever saw pretty much from the 70s were flashing. It is imperative that these three-way flashing toppers with 12 volt or 14 volt bulbs in them, it is imperative that they flash or they will overheat and melt the reflectors that the bulbs are mounted in. This particular topper here has got quite a lot of time on it, and it does still have most of the original bulbs in it. A few years ago I lucked out and found a couple of packs of 14 volt replacement bulbs. Now I think that this tree topper might actually have all 14 volt bulbs in it, because it's not super bright like a lot of the older ones you used to see were, which is good. It prolongs the life of the bulb. But you can see which bulbs have been replaced in this because the colors are deeper on them. They're not faded out as bad. There's a green one that's right there that's new, and this amber one up here is new. And there's a couple of red ones in there that have been replaced too. And also, the flasher. When I got this tree topper, the yellow section on this did not work because the flasher was burned out. I was very lucky that those packs of replacement bulbs actually had flasher bulbs in them. So the flashers are pretty easy to identify. They have a longer the envelope of the bulb is longer, and sometimes they have a red tip on them also too. And if you look closely at them clear bulbs, you can actually see that it has different elements inside the bulb. It's actually got bimetallic elements in there to flash the bulb on and off. So without talking about this anymore, let's turn it on here and see what it looks like. This will probably start flashing almost immediately. I just barely unplugged it. So there it is, it's all lit. You can tell which bulbs are newer. The ones with the deeper colors on them are newer bulbs. The faded bulbs are the originals. The thing about the older 12 volt bulbs is that they flash. They don't have very long on time. They flash very fast. That's a good thing. Keeps them from overheating and causing a nuclear meltdown. Now, if in the future I have an epic failure here and I lose a bunch of bulbs, I'm going to be in a mess with this, because you cannot mix newer 12 volt replacement bulbs with these older ones, or 14 volt, whatever these are, but I'm not 100% sure, but I'm guessing these are 14 volt. Those 14 volt bulbs work perfectly with this. So in the event that one section of this fails or the whole thing fails, I'll have to replace every single bulb with modern bulbs, which could prove to be a pain in the rear because I don't believe that modern 12 volt flashers are readily available. But on the other hand, the modern bulbs don't burn as hot as these do, so it might be possible to just have it so that it's on all the time if I put modern bulbs in it. I don't know. I'd have to determine that. I'd have to do some testing with it here and see what happened, but you know, probably if this thing dies, I probably would just tuck it away and not bother fixing it for a while, because I've used it a lot and I'm actually kind of on the fence about how much I really like this thing. It's not exactly a real pretty tree topper, but it's the only one that I actually have at this point in time, so I continue to use it on this tree. But it's a pretty interesting old artifact, though. I'm pretty happy that I was able to save it. I kind of wish that this one would have had the red, green, and blue section on it instead of the red, green, and amber. I would have preferred to see some blue lights on this. That would have probably made it a little more appealing. I kind of like the blue lights, and I have actually seen one of these that was red, green, and blue. I saw it online somewheres. But yeah, if you have these and you don't know what it has for bulbs, replace them all, just to be safe. These things could definitely be a fire hazard if this, you know, even if something went wrong with a flasher bulb on this and this happened to stick on, which that's totally not out of the question with this thing either. That's happened once or twice with this, but I happened to catch it that the green section was not flashing one time, and I just walked up to it and just tapped that flasher bulb and it started working again, and it hasn't bothered again for quite some time. I haven't had any trouble with it at all this year, but it's imperative that these things blink. That's the big thing. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this look at this nice old vintage three-way flashing tree topper. Hope you enjoyed. Have yourself a great evening. Bye bye.